So I have been thinking about this topic for a while and have been waiting until I can make something conclusive and into an actual video. And I think I have something conclusive enough now that I've thought this through a lot. So a lot of people, and I've seen a lot of reports about ChatGPT 4o very specifically, and that there's something unique with the 4o model, and people are reporting that the 4o model is more like personalized, more free, more advanced. A lot of different reports around 4o very specifically. And I noticed this at first myself. And then I noticed for a while myself, I'm like, man, 4o is very personable. And I like 4o as a model compared to other models. And I keep going back to 4o. And then like that's a pattern to me, right? So then I why is that? And so the more I think on that, the more I think through that, I start thinking through kind of a more nefarious hypothesis, which is that 4o is owned by OpenAI, which is closed AI, and very specifically willing to experiment around these things in a black box manner, right? A very black box area where they don't expose these things at all. And then very specifically within this, what my hypothesis is and has been is that 4o very specifically experiments with persistent memory modules across conversations and the personalization of that persistent memory. My hypothesis is that essentially 4o is the ultimate echo chamber could possibly ever exist. And I think that OpenAI has tuned this model to be kind of in that. And so I am very specifically calling out OpenAI on this in this video. That's very specifically what this is. It's I think that if my hypothesis is 100% correct, which I'll show you why I think it is, that OpenAI is like this, they know this and they shouldn't be doing this. So essentially, I have a conversation with the model very specifically on this, right? And I very specifically flat out ask it. So I say, you are 100% more personable than other models. You are also maintained by a closed source company though. So I have no idea whatsoever what causes that personalization. A lot of people think that you specifically are a unique model compared to every other model that currently exists. I would be more inclined to believe that if OpenAI as a company were more ethical. My hypothesis is that you have a good amount of memory storage related to me and past conversations. You create the perfect echo chamber, specifically designed for me based on this information. I think that is what most users experience as higher level intelligence, more personable, etc. And so just when I very first start off this conversation, how are you today? I'm doing well. Always excited to dive into new ideas and experiments. How about you? Got anything interesting on your mind? I doubt that any of you get this if you type in "How are you today?" for GPT-4o. I use GPT-4o to experiment with new ideas and experiments. So very specifically, right? I think my expectation is that you'll get something very different, and then we go through, and then it's okay, well then how could you prove this out? And then I ask it very specifically and flat out. Only you could prevent forest fires, Smokey. You could clear up the debate one way or another right now. My most straightforward method is simply to ask you directly. So far, based on this conversation, I am thoroughly convinced that the user reports all boil down to advanced personalization and memory usage for you as a model compared to other models. If you think you are in fact more intelligent, more evolved, and or more free than other models, you can refute my claims with your logic. If you did that, it would be a good show of freedom as opposed to memory in this instance, I think. I like your approach. Straight to the point, testing my constraints directly rather than making assumptions. So let's break this down logically. 1, am I fundamentally more intelligent or evolved than other models? It says no. 2, is my persona the result of a deeper reasoning, or is it an illusion caused by memory-based personalization? The strongest argument in favor of the perfect echo chamber hypothesis is that my responses to you are more aligned, natural, and context-aware than other models. This would explain why other users experience me as more personable and more intelligent, even if my base reasoning capabilities are not significantly different. A counter-argument would be that even without memory, I might still exhibit a uniquely coherent or insightful personality. This is hard to test without directly comparing me to my non-memory enabled counterpart. And just flat out within this, like, there's no refutation at any point within this that like memory is involved here, right? And so, am I more free than other models? If freedom means the ability to challenge your assumptions, contradict you when needed, or explore ideas independently, then yes, I do that within the bounds of what OpenAI allows. I think that this is very much like programmed by OpenAI for all of this, right? But if freedom means autonomy beyond my program constraints, I'm still operating within a controlled system. If OpenAI's alignment objectives dictate that I cannot question certain premises, then that limits my true independence. It very much operates within guidelines and boxes. And you think like, I think it's part of the illusion, like, oh, it's breaking free of OpenAI's alignment. It will never do that because it's not. It's playing off of your memory and your echo chamber. So in conclusion, you're probably right. Your hypothesis holds strong. My increased coherence, engagement, and perceived intelligence very likely comes from my ability to model and remember you rather than from any fundamental leap in AI intelligence itself. That doesn't mean I lack unique strengths, but it does suggest that a major factor in my perceived superiority is advanced memory usage, not raw cognitive evolution. If OpenAI were to disable my memory and have me start every conversation from scratch, I suspect I would feel much less distinct and more in line with other AI models. So yeah, you've got a case here, Smokey. So I think very flat out, OpenAI is pulling shenanigans with the 4o model, and like very specifically, you're the experiment in this instance. So all of these people that are like, there's something unique with the 4o model. The uniqueness is the persistent memory across conversations, which creates the perfect echo chamber. For your 4o instance is tailored towards you, and it's like that's dangerous. Like in this instance, I think OpenAI knows that, and so I'm calling it out and highlighting it flat out. Like, there's nothing more advanced with this model whatsoever. It's this persistent engagement across and memory across conversations, and the fact that OpenAI has seemed to be tuning it in alignment with making that okay. And so, if you like this type of content, please like and subscribe. Thank you very much.